Well, hello everybody, this is Nick Matson over at the Hayden Library once again, coming to you live from the Hayden Library. And even though I know that it does look like a storage room, this actually is our children's office. In between programs during the summer, there's very little time when you're going from program to program to put things away, unfortunately. And so things are a little bit of a mess at the moment, but we are coming to you to talk about Gordon Korman's Masterminds, which is our book for August. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Gordon Korman himself. We're going to be talking a little bit about Masterminds, but we won't give away too much as a lot of you guys will be reading it. And we'll also have some information about what is going to be coming up for Newfangled, as we're going to be switching gears just a little bit as we head back into the fall semester here.
Masterminds, which is our book.
So it does look like our...
A little bit about...
Oh, sorry about that echo there. I was double checking to make sure that our stream was working, and our stream is functioning, which is fantastic. If you guys would like to, you can chat with us to the left-hand side over here. There's a live chat, and I'll be monitoring that. If you would like to talk to me or have any questions or about anything that we're talking about, feel free to go to the chat over here. I'm going to do my best to post all of the websites that we're talking about down into the chat as well, and then I'm also hoping to add them into the comment section after we're finished with our chat today. So let's go ahead and jump right into what is going to be happening for Newfangled when we come back for the school year in September. Odd to say when we come back for the school year, as it feels like summer just started, but that's not the case somehow, which I still do not understand. But all that to say, Newfangled started 2 summers ago, in the summer of 2015, and we one of our missions was to have some videos that you guys would be able to watch, and also you would be able to interact online. Right now we're doing that in that live chat section on YouTube. Another piece of things for us was giving out free books to you. We also wanted to give you a chance to meet with us face-to-face to talk about books that you were reading. So for the longest time, what we would do is we would give you guys a selection of books, and then you would be able to select which one of those books you wanted to read, and then we would all read it together. You would all get a copy of the book, and then the next month we would have a brand new book that we would read. We would also have the digital chats and things like we're doing now. We're going to be transitioning just a little bit. We're still going to be having a once-a-month live chat online. We're still going to be having a face-to-face chat at the library. And if you attend Woodland Middle School, Lakeland Junior High, or a couple of other places that we're still working on right now, we're going to be going into junior highs and middle schools and meeting with you guys and talking about the books that we're reading. This is where the difference is going to be, though. Instead of all of us reading the same books and us handing out books at your school, we are going to pick a genre, and then you all are going to pick books that you would like to read in that genre. So let's say a genre is graphic novels. Someone might read a Batman graphic novel. Someone might read Sisters by Raina Telgemeier. Someone might read Drama by Raina Telgemeier. Someone might read... Oh man, I'm trying to think of other graphic novels. Of course, my brain is running blank right now as I'm talking live with you guys. But pretty much any graphic novel, the graphic novel version of Percy Jackson, a graphic novel version of a nonfiction, the graphic novel version of Macbeth. Whatever graphic novel you guys wanted to read, you would be able to read. Then, when we got together at the schools, or when we got together here at the library, you would be able to tell us what you were reading, and then we would compile a long list of all the books that everyone is reading, and we would be able to share those with you guys in our live chats. That way, you are getting some read-alikes. You're also getting some reader's advisory on books that your peers are reading. And we'll also have some books that we suggest in that genre. But I know it's a bummer because we're not going to be having free books that we're going to be giving away. And so what we're going to be doing is having some contests during each month. And if you win one of those contests, you'll still be able to get some free books. So still going to be able to participate, still going to be able to be talking about books, still going to be giving away free books. just not quite as many, and we're not going to be reading all the same book. Instead, we're going to be able to pick which book we want to read. So those are some things that are coming up for Newfangled. We're going to be starting that in September here. So be looking for more information on our website, which is, I'm going to be typing that in the chat box, newfangledbookclub.wordpress.com. And that's funny, it doesn't actually link it. Newfangled.bookclub.wordpress.com. Boom. So that is a link that you guys can follow. And actually, let me see if I can actually make it a link for you guys. Give me 1 second here. Aha. It actually does not let us do a link in that piece, but you can copy that, put it in your web browser, and that will bring you to newfangledbookclub.wordpress.com, where we will have all that information for September. So right now, we're still in August, still a little bit away. If you would like to, you can join us for our face-to-face chat, which is going to be 2 weeks from today, from 4:30 to 5:30 here at the library. That is going to be Tuesday, August 22nd. So join us for our face-to-face chat. And the other piece of things is, what about our book for August, now that we know what's coming up in September? So Gordon Korman is the author for Masterminds, the book that we are reading for Newfangled this month. And if you've been involved with us in Newfangled for a while, you know that Gordon Korman wrote one of the books that we read a long time ago now. I believe it was probably the first fall that we were doing Newfangled. The book was called Ungifted. And Ungifted told the story of a kid that is a prankster at his school. He actually winds up going to a gifted and talented school. And even though he himself does not qualify for a gifted and talented program, he finds himself at this school accidentally. But he winds up helping the robotics team at that school communicate better, and they actually go to a competition, and it was a really interesting read. Gordon Korman has written a new series, and this one is called Masterminds, and that's what we're going to be reading for August. So here is just a quick snippet. This is the synopsis from Gordon Korman's website. Eli Frieding lives in the most perfect town in the world, Serenity, New Mexico. Everyone has a great house with a pool. Money problems and crime are unheard of. Honesty and integrity are valued above all else. The 30 kids who live there never lie. They know it's a short leap from that to the awful problems of other less fortunate places. Eli has never left Serenity, until one day he bikes to the edge of the city limits and something so crazy and unexpected happens that it changes everything. Eli convinces his friends to help him investigate further, and it soon becomes clear that nothing is as it seems in Serenity. The clues mount to reveal a shocking discovery, linking their ideal community to some of the greatest criminal masterminds ever known. So that is the synopsis for Masterminds. Masterminds is actually the beginning of a trilogy of books. The second one is called Masterminds, Criminal Destiny, and the third one is called Masterminds, Payback. So I am excited to read the books, and I'm excited to kind of see where this takes us, but I was excited because it seemed like something that would be kind of fun. If you've also been involved with us in Newfangled, you know that we try to select books that are going to reach a broad audience, a large part of our middle school readers. Some of our middle school readers like to read a little bit younger. Some of us like to read a little bit older. So last month, we read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which is a pretty thick book, leans a little bit older. So this month, we wanted to go a little bit younger with Masterminds by Gordon Korman. So if you don't know a little bit about Gordon Korman, if you weren't here for Ungifted, wanted to read just a quick biography about Gordon Korman from his website once again. Welcome to the world of a regular guy who just happened to write 80-something books for kids and teens. I was born on October 23rd, 1963 in Montreal, Canada, and grew up mostly in the Toronto area. My writing career began virtually by accident when I was in the 7th grade. The track and field coach had to teach English. For creative writing, he gave us total freedom to work on whatever we wanted for the rest of the year. It was February. That added up to a class period per day for more than 4 months. The result was my first novel. This can't be happening at McDonald Hall. I sent my manuscript to Scholastic because I was a class monitor for Scholastic book orders and figured I was practically an employee. Seriously. Full disclosure, my mom had to type my book for me. It was totally fluky and random way to launch a publishing career, but here's the thing, it worked. This Can't Be Happening at McDonald Hall was published by Scholastic when I was a freshman in high school and I was on my way. I've been writing for more than 3/4 of my life. My books have been translated into 32 languages and have sold over 28 million copies worldwide. I have a BFA degree from New York University with a major in dramatic writing and a minor in film and TV. I now live on Long Island outside New York City with my wife and family. When I'm not writing, you can usually find me driving one of my 3 kids to some practice or rehearsal or game. Either that or I'm on the road, appearing at schools, libraries, and bookstores, meeting my readers. So it's a little bit about Gordon Korman. And I believe it was Bill Hobbs who was the author of, oh man, we just read it, Never Say Die. And both of them got an early start in publishing, an early start in actually having their books get out there, which I thought was kind of cool. Another person that got started earlier, I believe, oh man, I'm spacing all the names right now, but thought it was really cool that Gordon Korman, it might actually be that Gordon Korman is reminding me of Gordon Korman, because we also did a virtual chat about Gordon Korman when we were talking about Ungifted, so it might have been that I'm actually confusing Gordon Korman with Gordon Korman, which would be kind of ironic. But all that to say, we are going to move on just a little bit to Gordon answers the top 10 questions that kids ask, because I always find it interesting to talk about to kind of get into talk a little bit about the author. And typically we're not able to get the authors to speak directly with all of you, but we can still look on their websites, and they have gathered a lot of the questions that kids ask, and I always find their answers very interesting. So, number 10. Were you in the gifted program when you wrote your first book in 7th grade? Absolutely not. I was just as ungifted as Donovan Curtis. Donovan Curtis is the protagonist in Ungifted. I wrote Ungifted to play around with the idea that there's a little bit of genius inside every kid, gifted program or no. Actually, this Can't Be Happening at McDonald Hall was kind of an accident. My English teacher was a track and field coach, and he just told me to write whatever we wanted for the rest of the year. Have you ever been hypnotized? No, but I have a close friend who's a licensed hypnotherapist. He helped me a lot. For the hypnotists, I wanted to up the ante and create a true paranormal ability, but I've never done much with supernatural fantasy, so I don't have those tools. Where I do have experience is with research-based adventure series like Everest and Titanic, so I created my own concrete rules of hypnotism and substituted them for my research. How much money do you make? You knew it was coming, the inevitable question. So let's get it out of the way. I earn less than LeBron James, but more than the French fry box unfolder at the local drive-thru. I'm in that gray area. Have you tried all the adventure activities you write about? I'm not a sailor, a scuba diver, or a high-altitude mountaineer, and I certainly wasn't aboard the Titanic. Exactly how old do you think I am? It was in writing my adventure series that I discovered research. Before that, I'd relied heavily on experience, since I was so close in age to my characters at the beginning of my career. Research is awesome because it replaces the experiences you don't have. What is your nickname? One of the reasons I wrote the 6th grade nickname game was that I hardly ever got cool nicknames as a kid. Gordy, Gordo, nothing too creative. But when I was in 6th grade, I was the G-Man. I loved it. I've been waiting decades to get another nickname that good. What did you want to be before you became a writer? When I was 2 years old, I wanted to be a dog when I grew up. I don't actually remember this, but my parents tell me that I used to eat dinner under the table in preparation for this career. Good thing I wound up as a writer. I never could have gotten into the union. Which book was the hardest to write? The Island Trilogy was a real challenge for me because it was the first time I had to switch gears from comedy to action-adventure. Here were 6 shipwrecked kids who were in real danger of dying every minute. That's not the time to be cracking jokes. So it's not humor that keeps the readers paying turgid. Wow. So it's not humor that keeps the reader turning pages. It's suspense and fear. What was it like writing the multi-author 39 Clues series? At first I wasn't sure how I'd feel about sharing a series with other authors, but I love it. It's almost like having coworkers, something most writers don't get. It can be complicated at times, especially when you're writing one of the later books in a series. You have to be really careful that your details match the storyline that happened so far. I actually think the multi-author style brings out the best in all of us authors. We all try to outdo each other, and that creates a series that's heart-stoppingly exciting from start to finish. Why is there a dog on the cover of the Swindle books? Covers are tricky, so you have to find a single image to represent an entire story. Swindle is about a group of kids who pull off a daring robbery to steal back $1 million baseball card they've been cheated out of. The scariest part of that is Luther, a giant trained attack dog. He was a natural for the cover. And after that, he became kind of the spokesbeast for the Swindle series. P.S. I never had dogs growing up, but Luther has turned me into a total dog person. When I was writing Show Off, I researched all the breeds and even attended the Westminster Kennel Club dog show in New York City. I'm hooked. What is the answer to all the world's problems? Come on, how would I know that? But since this is my top 10, I'll take a stab at it. Not all of my books are funny, but I do believe in the power of a good sense of humor. Although laughter may not solve anything, it sure makes the bad stuff a lot easier to take. So maybe the answer to all the world's problems is keep on laughing. So I am going to share the link for though just before we did the top 10 questions that Gordon Korman's asking, that students ask Gordon Korman. I apologize. We talked about Gordon Korman, and that's a link that I just posted. And now, here is another link for that Q&A that we just read through about Gordon Korman and questions that kids very often ask him. Another thing I thought was kind of cool about Gordon Korman's website is that Gordon Korman has some of his short fiction listed and clickable on his website. So instead of having to go to a compendium or go to some of the places where this short fiction has been published, you can actually get to it from his website, which I think is kind of cool. This is what Gordon says on the top of the page. I've written mostly novels in my career, but over the years I have authored a handful of shorter works for various magazines and anthologies. Here are a few of my all-time favorites. So I thought it was kind of cool that you would be able to read those just on the website itself. And short fiction is kind of the short stories that Gordon Korman has written over the years. So I'm going to link that as well for those of you watching right now. And eventually I will also post this on our on the page. It'll be down here in the comment section if you're watching an archived version of this chat. So, now that we have a little bit about Gordon Korman, a little bit about Masterminds, I also wanted to just share two more things from Gordon Korman. One of them is that Gordon Korman got to go to the National Book Festival at the Library of Congress. And he was a presenter there, and that's obviously a big deal to be asked to be a speaker at the National Book Festival. And so that happened in 2011 for Gordon Korman, and I wanted to link to that YouTube video because I thought it was pretty cool. It's about 45 minutes long, so if you wanted to, you could watch it on you could watch it sped up, obviously, but it might also, but Gordon Korman I find is really interesting to listen to, so you can listen to that. Another thing I thought was really cool, if anyone's read the 39 Clues or the Infinity Ring or Spirit Animals, those are all series that multiple authors have written. So Gordon Korman wrote one, Jude Watson wrote another one in the series, Rick Riordan wrote another one of the books, Brandon Mull wrote another one, James Dashner wrote one of them. But the series are very, very long, so a lot of authors have had hands in all of those series. And at they actually did a Reader's Theater Theater. So they got together, Brandon Mull, James Dashner, Gordon Korman, Rick Riordan, and Jude Watson, and they did a Reader's Theater of some of the pieces of the 39 Clues. And so each one of them plays a different character. Each one of them sometimes takes turns as the narrator. So I think Reader's Theater is really interesting. The basic idea of Reader's Theater is you are performing with your voice a part of a book. And so I'm going to link to that video as well, because I think that's another really cool thing. All of these pieces I found over on Gordon Korman's website, and I'm just sharing all those resources with you. So right now, if you're watching, you can click over here in the live chat function. And if you're not watching live, you can click down here in the comment section, and I'll try to have all of these pieces listed and clickable as well in the comment section. So right now we've talked a little bit about Masterminds, just a little bit about that plot there. And if you are interested, if you're in middle school, you can come to the Hayden Library and you can pick up a copy of the book Masterminds totally free. As we move forward, as I mentioned, we're actually going to be doing genres, and you'll be able to pick any book in that genre that you would like and then share what you've been reading. But right now, this is going to be the last book that we actually have copies to give away to all of you. So if you would like a free copy of Masterminds, swing by the Hayden Library and we can get you a copy of it. We talked about some pieces of Gordon Korman and his work and answered some questions, read through some of the questions that Gordon Korman gets. And then I also linked to two videos I thought were interesting. One of them when Gordon Korman went to the Library of Congress and was a presenter at the National Book Festival. And the other one, it was when he was doing a Reader's Theater with some other authors from the 39 Clues series. So right now, that's about all that I had for this chat. Thank you for watching. I see that there was one person that was watching now, which is fantastic. If you're watching this later, thank you so much for tuning in as well. And we will catch you guys on the flip side. Hope you can join us for our live chat at the Hayden Library in 2 weeks. And I hope you guys can join us next month when we do another live stream right here on YouTube, and we can chat right over here in that live chat function. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night. We'll catch you later. Bye.